Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Biz Tips. Guys, I am super excited. Today, I have a good friend of mine. We connected in a group on Facebook, and she blew my mind, everything she got going on. Midori, what's up?
Hey, I am so excited to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you for jumping on. So, before we jump in everything that you're doing with Fuel to Fire, tell the people exactly who is Midori.
Who is she? Well, I'm like just a serial entrepreneur. I love business. That's really the only thing. Honestly, Jill Bay, it's the only thing I'm good at. I suck at everything else. I've been doing it for almost 30 years, own several
Wow.
different businesses. And it's just kind of, I think it's just in my DNA now.
Mm,
And that's what I do. And the latest company that we launched during the pandemic is Fuel the Fire. And so
okay.
I'm really concentrating on working with other entrepreneurs and helping them be more successful. That's what it's all about.
So you said you were a serial entrepreneur, right? Take us back. When was the first time you started your first business?
Yeah, it was right out of college. When
What?
I graduated, so remember, we're going way back.
Yes,
When
let's go
I
back.
when I first graduated from college, we were in a recession, a pretty deep
Mm,
recession at that time, and there just weren't that many jobs. And so we happened to know a friend who had
mhm.
started a rental company and he was doing well in his area. And so he suggested we start one where I'm from. I'm in Northern California. And so we did, and we
Mm,
still have it today. And so, yeah, that is where we started and just went from there. I never really had a job after that.
wow. So you started that business. How many other business did you start after that? And what happened? This one is still running?
We still have it. Yeah. Um, it's a smaller business. It's not a tech business. It's a rental business, right? And so with a company like this, it's more beneficial for us to hold on to it because it's the revenue is strong.
Mm,
And if we sell it, there's not a lot to be gained from it. And
okay.
so having a business where we can have other people running it, we've been doing this a long time. So we have systems in place, we have a
Yeah.
strong team in place, and it works. So anyway, still have that business. And then, gosh, I've probably had 5 or 6 other businesses along the way. Some of
Wow.
them good, some of them not.
Okay.
But you learn from all of it, right?
Definitely, 100%. So you got all these businesses going. What made you say, I want to start Fuel to Fire? Because I think that is a very unique business that you have. Like, what made you said, I want to get that going?
Yeah, I would say what I saw during the pandemic is a lot of entrepreneurs who
Hmm.
really got scared and they didn't know
Mm,
what to do. All of a sudden their whole worlds were turned upside down.
yeah.
And from owning businesses so long, I was so used to it. I'm so used to getting punched in the gut and knocked out at the knees and getting back up and figuring it out. And so that's what inspired me to start Fuel the
Mm,
Fire. Because regardless of whether there's a pandemic or a recession or anything else, it's just part of business.
yeah.
And there's ways for us to become more resilient and look for new opportunities to grow a stronger business. And so that's what I do now.
So I saw something on your site where it says increase revenue by 25% in 6 months or get a full refund. That is a pretty bold claim, right? I you don't see people doing that. Like what makes you say that? What's the sauce that you're sharing in that community that really got people going crazy?
Yeah. So Fuel the Fire, it's really a simple model.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is we help you set up your goals. We use a very simple framework so that you are ready to scale your business and you can bring it
Okay.
to, the rest of the team. And then on top of that, we layer it with accountability. And the way that we do it is we have very small accountability groups
Mm-hmm.
of other driven entrepreneurs that are similar levels to you. And we also have systems in place, and everything is very researched. And there's systems there, even though it's simple. There's a ton of background that went into everything that we've created.
Yeah.
And then we have, ways to measure and ways to check in. And then we have other things that come into it as well. But the reason why we have that guarantee is what we have seen is when members show up on a regular basis
Mm-hmm.
and they do what they say they're going to do, they are exceeding their goals and they're making their revenue projections by at least 30% year over year. And so
Wow.
that's why I feel comfortable saying you show up, you do the work, you
Mm.
participate, and you don't feel alone. And we guarantee that you will make 25% or more, or we'll give you your money back.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you this, right? Because I know some of my listeners probably thinking about that. Have you given any money back? Has anybody haven't reached that goal?
We have not had to give the money back. And the thing is, it's not that everyone reaches that goal,
Yeah.
totally, frankly, but there are people who know that they're not doing the work. They're not
Mm.
showing up. They're self-sabotaging in some way. I can help with that because you see the
Yeah.
same types of patterns with entrepreneurs for different reasons. But those who do consistently show up hit their goals. It's none of
Okay.
this is rocket science, but there
Yeah.
are systems in place. Yeah.
You said the word system a lot. So tell us more about that because especially we have a group of seasoned entrepreneurs that listen to us. We also have a group of entrepreneurs who are just starting out. And a lot of them keep hearing the word system, but nobody really break down what exactly is that system. So can you kind of share an example on maybe a company that you guys work with that went through your program, maybe in the beginning they didn't have system, and what did they set up in place that helped them reach their goals?
Yeah. So in Fuel the Fire, we teach every single member a
Mm-hmm.
system for goal setting. We call it the
Okay.
Summit Goal Mapping Framework. It's just from a bunch of other types of goal setting frameworks,
Yeah.
and we simplified it. So I'll give you an example of one of our clients who's a professor. When
Mm-hmm.
she first came into Fuel the Fire, she was working full time. She was a full time university professor, but
Mm-hmm.
she had kind of this side hustle. She was more excited about the side hustle than she was about teaching,
Yeah.
but she didn't have the systems in place. She didn't know how to run the business effectively where she had regular clients coming in and regular predictable revenue.
Okay.
So we helped her with her Summit Goal Mapping Framework. That was the main thing that we did, something
Mm-hmm.
that simple. And so she would show up to the accountability groups on a regular basis, every single week she was showing up. And all she did was she looked at what she had promised she was going to do.
Okay.
And she knew she didn't do it or not, but she knew that, but it kept her focused.
Yeah.
That's how simple it is, right? One of the biggest challenges that I see for entrepreneurs, and I'll get back to her name's Lene. I'll get back to her in a second and tell you where she is now. But
Yeah.
one of the biggest challenges that I see for entrepreneurs is they're trying to wear all these different hats, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
they know that they want to achieve this amazing goal and have this amazing life and go on trips and buy these beautiful homes. They want to do all this stuff, but somewhere along the way, these obstacles get in their way,
Yeah.
right? They're trying to solve all these problems, put out all these fires. So as those who are successful find ways to get rid of that clutter,
Mm.
right? So they can focus on the things that really are profound for their business and I call them your needle turners that move your business. So that's what Lene has learned to do. She's gotten into that habit.
Okay.
Fast forward, remember, but she was not an entrepreneur before she came in to Fuel the Fire. And
Yeah.
fast forward, now she is only teaching 8 units. It's only been 2 years. It's been less than 2 years for her, teaching 8 units at the
Okay.
university, and she's running her business full time. And she is
Nice.
writing a book,
That's
and she
awesome.
has scaling plans where she's bringing in other people into her company. She's remodeled. She goes on vacation to Florida at least 6 times a year. These are goals that she set for herself,
Yeah.
and she's living them.
That's
And that's
amazing.
in less than 2 years. So that's just one. I mean, I could go on all kinds of examples, but systems make running a business easy or easier. I shouldn't say easy. Let me take that back. Makes it a lot easier.
I love that example because it really shows the power of just focusing. right? Because we all get this shining syndrome thing that, ooh, scroll, ooh, this, and then you know what I mean, and kind of attention and get dispersed somewhere else, and our energy get dispersed somewhere else, so we never really take what we're doing to the next level like we should. With that said, I'm curious to hear more about the overall business because you have a very interesting business model, right? Bringing all these people together into a community. So tell me more about that. How did you structure the model? Because I think that's a business model a lot of people don't talk about. So share a little bit more details with us.
Yeah. So having owned several different businesses, I know it's really hard and I know what's easier, right? And I know who I love to work with. So before I started Feel the Fire, I really got clear on three things. So
Mm,
one is, what am I good at?
yeah.
I know that I'm really good at coaching and being able to break through people's challenges. I can just kind of see it. Because I maybe all the research and all my experience, it just comes naturally now.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I'm not good at anything else. I'm good at business. That's it. And so anyway, I'm able to that's one of my, what I call zone of geniuses, is being able to really help coach entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it's what I love. It's what motivates me. It just fires me up. When I get up every single morning, I can't wait to go work with the people that I get to work with, because I am talking to entrepreneurs all day long.
Yeah.
And then number three is, what are my core values? What's really important to me? So one is having fun. I need to be having fun. It's in my DNA. When I'm not having fun, it's not good for anyone around me. So that's a core value. So I weaved it all into Fuel the Fire, and that's what we're about.
Nice.
And so that's kind of the business. The business model is really simple. We're about setting up goals. We're about coming together as a community of driven people who
Mm-hmm.
want to get to the next level, but we want to have fun. And we know that we're on the journey together and we lift each other up at the same time. There's so much power in that, I can't even tell you. But then on top of that, to add to the revenue, so that's a recurring revenue model,
Yeah.
right? Monthly, that's kind of a no-brainer. On top of that, I have accelerator programs for entrepreneurs, which obviously are going to be higher ticket. I have
Yeah.
one-on-one coaching that we do. And then I have other partnerships that
Okay.
I do as well.
All right. I just want to make sure I'm breaking this down. So you have Fuel the Fire, which is a community-based program. You have group of entrepreneurs that get together, right? That's recurring revenue. Then out of that, any entrepreneurs that need more help go to the accelerator program. So it's like they go from high school to college, and then from college to graduate school when they're doing one-on-one with you. Am I correct?
I love how you broke that down. That's a very good analogy. Yes.
I love it. I love it. So with that said, I'm assuming you have a team of people that's helping you with that growing community, right? Like how many people you guys have in there? 50, 60, 70?
Oh,
Like,
in the group, yeah,
yeah,
we have around 70 to 80 people right now.
nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And then
Mm-hmm.
out of those, some of these people might go through the accelerator, and then that's when they kind of like get more help. And then you have the one-on-one. Now you mentioned partnership. What does that come in? Is that more like partnership with different brands that can help that community, or how did you have that structured?
Yeah, so I know what my zone of genius is, what I'm strong at.
Yeah.
But then there's areas that I'm not strong at, right? And so that's where I partner with other people. So I have, for example, I have the 90-day accelerator. It's
Hmm.
called the WSE 90-day accelerator. And I partnered with a gentleman named Parker Nash. He comes from
Hmm.
Nike. He was there for over a decade. He's very, very good at marketing and messaging.
Mm,
And so that's where he comes in, and he really helps entrepreneurs in that area. Whereas I can help you build a strong foundation and
gotcha.
then show you how to accelerate it.
Gotcha. No, I love it. So with any businesses, I'm sure there's some challenges, right? So well, I'm sure even though you've been an entrepreneur for so many years, you've gone through a lot of challenges. Can you share maybe one of those challenges and how did you overcome that?
Oh my gosh, there's so many challenges.
I
So,
know.
like I said, in um, the business that we founded is a rental
Yeah.
company. We do large events. We're close to Silicon Valley, so um, they're our primary clientele.
Mm,
When the pandemic hit and everyone shut down and people were not working
oh,
from the office anymore and not able to get together, all of a sudden overnight, we were giving back tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh. And that was a little bit unsettling. I had not started to feel the fire yet,
Yeah.
but thankfully, it wasn't my first rodeo having a challenge. We haven't had a pandemic, obviously, but we've had a lot of other things that have happened over the years.
Yeah.
And what I've learned, instead of freaking out, my natural reaction that I've trained myself to have is, okay, so now what?
Gotcha.
How do we pivot? Where do we go? What are the opportunities that are now available? And that's what happened. So
I love
that's
it.
something that everyone can use, is really like getting clear, staying calm in your
Yeah.
brain and thinking, okay, here's the challenge that we're facing. We need to face it, but how are we going to overcome it? What are the opportunities? Do we need a who for our what now? Right. And just really
Ooh,
kind of vet that out.
do we need a who for our what now? Wow, that's powerful because a lot of us don't think about that, right? Sometimes, you get stressed and you start panicking and not really that staying clear. You said clarity a lot. So I'm noticing a pattern here. Everything that you do, you have some form of clarity for you to succeed in it. So I think that's amazing. So by staying clear and really thinking about, who's the who of our what helped you bypass that. And the business is still running today, right? You guys were able to overcome that.
We've had our best years. Yeah, the last 2 years, we have had the best years with that company ever. So
Congrats, congrats.
yeah,
That's
thank you.
amazing. And then what have you seen, right? With more the seasoned entrepreneurs that's part of your group, what have you seen some of their challenges has been, and then how has, you know, they've been able to overcome it?
Yeah, so it's much different when you have someone who's only been in business, 1 to 2 years versus
Yeah.
someone who is seasoned, or they're a fast growth type of company.
Mm-hmm.
So they have what we call growing pains, right? They need to hire the right people. They need to
Yeah.
find the right people. They need to figure out, how do they scale? What should they be doing now? How do they build their new sales cycle?
Mm-hmm.
What are new marketing things that are working? So they just deal with, they have different conversations. That's why we keep people in groups that are of similar levels, so they can
Gotcha.
help each other
So they can
more.
learn from each other.
Exactly. But yeah, the conversations are much, much different. So regardless of where you are in your business, there's always going to be challenges. That's why I keep coming back to that, right? So when
Yeah.
I was just talking to a woman who has a very fast telemedicine company, fast growth company, and she's kind of just holding on for, I see her like on a rocket ship, and she's just holding on. And they're doing partnerships left and right with celebrities, with big doctors. But she's trying to clone herself right now,
Mm.
right? Because you can also stab yourself in the foot
Yeah,
when you're
when
growing
it's
that
going
fast. It
too
sounds
fast.
great. Hmm.
Yeah.
So those are the conversations that we're having now.
That's amazing. Now, since we're running out of time, right, to wrap things up, and we're definitely gonna have you come back for a second episode. Um, what is that one small best tips you would share with any entrepreneurs? Maybe the one that are just starting out, or the one that's a little bit seasoned, been in business for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, good question. So regardless of where you are in your business, the number one thing that will help you succeed and get through the obstacles the quickest and with the least amount of scars is
Mm-hmm.
surrounding yourself with other high value people who can support you and
Mm,
help you persevere much, much quicker.
I love it. Wow. How do people get in touch with you if they want to join Fuel to Fire, or they want to, be around you, get your coaching? What's the process? Like, how do they reach you?
Yeah, the easiest way, if they want to use, one thing that I love to share is our goal mapping framework. It's a great place to start. I don't care the size of your company, it's just a
Mm-hmm.
great tool. So all they need to do is just go to fuel2fire.co/goals, and they can get that. But that will also take you to our website, so they can reach me
Awesome.
from there as
Good. We'll
well.
put that in the show notes. Thank you again for coming in, Midori. This was amazing. You shared some really good nuggets when it comes to overcoming obstacles. Guys, check her out. Check out Fuel to Fire. Awesome group. And thank you again.
Thanks for having me.